Court is going to go ahead and take Mr. Wester into custody. He will be put in custody. He will be transported to the Jackson County Jail, and we will talk about his sentencing date on Monday. Anything else, Mr. Davis?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you. We're adjourned for the afternoon.
For years, Deputy Zachary Wester looked like exactly the kind of officer many communities want patrolling their roads.
They say it appears to be an illegal narcotic. Do you know anything about it?
He worked for the Jackson County Sheriff's Office in Florida and made traffic stops that often ended with drug arrests.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Jury, I'm going to give you some closing instructions. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time and consideration.
Wester appeared to be a highly productive deputy who was taking drugs off the streets. The problem was that some of those arrests were built on evidence that should never have existed.
Wester's accused of planting drugs in a dozen vehicles during random traffic stops.
They say it appears to be.
At first, nobody suspected that anything unusual was happening. Drivers were being stopped, searched, and arrested. Wester repeatedly claimed he was discovering methamphetamine during traffic stops.
The clerk, go ahead and publish the verdict.
In the state of Florida versus Zachary Wester, case number 19-CF-431.
The arrests appeared legitimate on paper, and many of the people being accused had little power to challenge the word of a law enforcement officer. That pattern continued until defense attorneys and investigators began reviewing body camera footage more carefully. What they noticed was disturbing.
The conspirator had a co-conspirator that was charged at the same time. Judge, I'm still arguing that there was not enough evidence for this to go to the jury on the racketeering.
In several encounters, Wester's hands appeared to move in suspicious ways before drugs were supposedly discovered.
In the state of Florida versus Zachary Wester, case number 19-CF-431. We, the jury, find as follows as to the counts charged in the information.
The footage raised a question that would eventually destroy his career and send him to prison. Was the deputy actually finding drugs, or was he planting them himself?
A verdict form that I haven't had an opportunity to study. He was also found guilty of 3 counts of guilty of official misconduct.
As investigators dug deeper, one of the most damaging pieces of evidence involved body camera footage showing Wester appearing to palm a small object before conducting a search.
You see his left hand come back over into view, into that purse, and that's when he says he finds that methamphetamine. He puts it in that spoon that's on the floorboard of a car that's not burned, and he calls that.
Prosecutors argued that this object was methamphetamine, and that he later placed it where it could be conveniently discovered.
Guilty. Count 64, guilty of false imprisonment related to Teresa Odom as charged.
Prosecutors started dismissing charges connected to his arrests, and people who had already been convicted began seeking relief through the courts. As the investigation continued, authorities discovered that the damage stretched far beyond individual defendants. Public confidence in the sheriff's office suffered, and questions emerged about how one deputy had been able to continue making arrests for so long without the alleged misconduct being detected sooner.
Mr. Dominguez, is this your verdict? Mr. Gibson, is this your verdict? Ms. Godwin, is this your verdict?
During the criminal proceedings, prosecutors argued that Wester deliberately abused his authority by planting evidence and falsely accusing innocent people of possessing drugs.
There, at what point in the video do you stop to look at? At what point in the video do you make mention of it? At what point in the video do you tell another officer about it? At what point do you tell Miss Odom about it?
The allegations painted a picture of an officer who used the trust placed in him by the public to manufacture criminal cases. If you're enjoying the breakdown so far, make sure to subscribe for more shocking courtroom cases.
Of the evidence. That's why I was talking to you about those numbers during opening. And I think those numbers are important. over 30 felony convictions and crimes of dishonesty.
As testimony unfolded, prosecutors presented video evidence, investigative findings, and witness accounts that challenged Wester's version of events.
These victims did not make a complaint about this to Jackson County Sheriff's Office. They have testified, what happened. There's been a video presented.
One of the most shocking aspects of the trial was how dramatically Wester's credibility deteriorated under scrutiny. The same officer whose testimony had once been enough to send people into the criminal justice system now faced questions about his own honesty.
Enterprise, or the organization that the state is alleging that has shown that he's a part of, which is the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, between taking.
Investigators ultimately connected Wester to numerous questionable arrests. The scope of the allegations transformed the case from a local scandal into a national story.
I would not have opened up a baggie with my bare hands, first of all. I will say that.
Media outlets across the country reported on the deputy whose own body camera footage appeared to expose him.
And then robbing people. The defendant, in this case, Gross, wasn't going into the houses, but he was helping plan the robberies and scoping them out.
And then the jury was faced with a substantial amount of evidence. When the verdict finally arrived, it was devastating for the former deputy.
Out of the 3rd District Court of Appeal here in Florida, 858 Southern 2nd.
Jurors found Zachary Wester guilty on 19 criminal charges. The verdict represented a complete rejection of the defense's effort to explain away the evidence. After hearing the testimony and reviewing the footage, the jury concluded that the misconduct was real.
Jackson County Jail, and we will talk about his sentencing date on Monday. Anything else, Mr. Williams?
No, Judge.
Anything else, Mr. Davis?
The judge later sentenced him to 12.5 years in prison. It was a dramatic fall for a man who had once exercised enormous authority over the lives of others during roadside encounters.
That's all I have, Judge.
Mr. Davis?
What was intended to document police work ultimately became one of the strongest pieces of evidence against a police officer accused of abusing his power.
Just let you know that. I need to have any sort of lawyer situation set up with the company policy about having employees not be here all the time.
Perhaps the most shocking part of the entire story is how many lives were affected before the truth emerged. Years later, the Zachary Wester case continues to be cited whenever discussions turn to police accountability, evidence integrity, and the importance of recording interactions between officers and the public.
And by no means do I think you're being argumentative or anything. I don't think that's the case.
I'm just asking questions.
I think you're just trying to put it all together, just as I would be.
Yeah, because I got a 6-month-old baby.
Right.
And 2 other kids.
What began as routine traffic stops ended with a jury concluding that a deputy had used his badge to create crimes rather than investigate them.